In Japan, there is a quiet word that almost sounds poetic. Johatsu. It means to evaporate. But in this context, it doesn't refer to steam or mist. It refers to people, thousands of men and women who simply disappear from their own lives and choose never to return. Some leave in the middle of the night. Some walk out after work and never go home. Some vanish intentionally, others out of desperation. And in Japan, unlike almost anywhere else in the world, there is a system that quietly allows it to happen. This is the little-known world of Japan's evaporated people, a phenomenon that stretches back decades and still continues today. Most disappearances begin with a single decision, often made in silence. A man burdened by debt, a mother overwhelmed by shame, a student who feels crushed by expectations, a husband who lost his job and can no longer face his family, or someone who simply wants to restart life without the weight of their past. In Japan, social pressure can be as heavy as any physical burden. The fear of disappointing others, your company, your family, your community, can feel unbearable. Some people say they didn't choose to disappear. They simply felt there was no other acceptable option. And so they vanish. The phenomenon is not new. Since at least the 1960s, people have quietly packed their belongings and left everything behind. Their homes, their jobs, even their identities. Sometimes they travel to distant cities. Sometimes just one town over. In the 1980s and 90s, during Japan's economic bubble and the painful crash that followed, disappearances rose sharply. People who lost everything overnight, savings, homes, pride, slipped into the shadows. A society built on stability and perfection suddenly had no room for those who failed. But this isn't a mystery built on crime or violence. Most Johatsu simply choose to disappear. And what makes Japan unusual is that it allows them to. There are neighborhoods known as Yonage villages, night escape towns, where landlords ask no questions and cash is still quietly accepted. People can live under assumed names. Small jobs pay under the table. And for a long time no one bothers them. Detectives often describe these places as cities within a city. Anonymous, invisible, but thriving in their own way. Families left behind rarely receive closure. Some are told nothing. A parent wakes up to find their adult child's room empty. A wife walks into the kitchen and realizes her husband isn't coming back. A brother's phone goes straight to voicemail. The pain is not always loud. Sometimes it's the quiet loneliness of waiting for a knock that never comes. Private investigators, far more common in Japan than you'd expect, often search for months, even years, and they do find people. But the laws are clear. If an adult says they do not want to return, investigators must respect that choice. Even if the family is desperate. Even if someone is crying on the other end of the phone. In Japan, the right to disappear is deeply rooted. What's striking is this. Many Johatsu believe they are doing the honorable thing. Some think disappearing protects their loved ones from shame. Others feel they must erase themselves to avoid burdening someone they care about. To outside eyes this may seem extreme. But inside Japan's social structure, where reputation, conformity, and emotional restraint are woven into daily life, choosing to evaporate can feel like the only escape. A few eventually rebuild new lives. Some even find peace. Others remain trapped in the same cycle of stress and poverty that drove them away in the first place. And some never truly return to society at all. For decades, this phenomenon has remained in the shadows, rarely discussed on television, rarely taught in schools, barely mentioned in public life. Japan, a nation known for efficiency, safety, and order, has long preferred not to acknowledge this quieter reality. But beneath the neon lights, the bullet trains, the uniform politeness, there exists a hidden population of people living in the spaces between. People who left without saying goodbye. People who felt their world had no place for them. People who, in their darkest moment, believed the only way forward was to disappear entirely. Today Japan is changing. Younger generations speak more openly about mental health. Support systems are improving. Stigma around failure is slowly fading. Yet still, every year, thousands choose the path of the Johatsu. Not out of cowardice. Not out of mystery. But out of a deep longing for a life where they are not weighed down by expectations they cannot meet. A life where they can breathe again. The story of Japan's evaporated people is not a ghost tale. It's a mirror, reflecting a society's pressures, its silence, and its compassion in ways that outsiders rarely see. And somewhere in Japan tonight, someone is folding their last shirt into a small bag, leaving their phone on the table, locking the door behind them, and stepping quietly into a new, uncertain life. Not knowing if they will ever return, not knowing if anyone will understand, but hoping, even in the smallest way, to begin again.